Hey, my name's James Nicholson. Welcome to my channel. In this video, I want to talk about, are house prices going to crash in 2024? Now, we've been talking about house prices going down for a number of years now, and it made sense in 2020. That's where it all started. If you think about it, you were sitting at home in March 2020, and at the time, if somebody told you at the beginning of the month that you'd have been locked down multiple times for the next few years, it would be hard to believe. Most people wouldn't agree that that was something that would happen, but it did. Businesses were shut down. We had to queue outside supermarkets for hours just to get inside. In fact, I remember going with my oldest daughter, Georgia, to the supermarket because it was exciting. I'm going tonight to get some Christmas shopping and it fills me with dread, the opposite. So it's very, very different, those times that we had. And logically, it made sense that during a pandemic, house prices would go down. Well, they haven't. And in 2022, a lot of people were saying the same, house prices are going to go down. In 23, they're saying the same, and they didn't. So what gives, and are we waiting for a property crash? Well, we're going to talk about that in this video. So while you're here, if you haven't done already, we make new content on this channel about investing, about residential mortgages, about property in general, every single day. This year, we've had 2 million views, 20,000 subscribers, and I want you to be my next subscriber by smashing that subscribe button and hitting the bell notification. And while you're here, smash the like button or tickle the like button. Do something to the like button. It's Christmas. Don't be Scrooge. Give me a little like. That really helps with the YouTube algorithm. That's why we got 2 million views, guys. So, property prices. Look, it did make sense during the pandemic. I absolutely thought my property portfolio is going to go absolutely down here, especially after the lockdown just lasted and lasted and lasted. I just thought so many businesses must be struggling here. But then the government had support. So we had bounce back loans, which I had and every business owner I know had. I mean, they were the easiest money I've ever got in my life. You just went online, you said you wanted 50 grand, and the next day you had 50 grand in your bank, which was crazy. You had the furlough scheme as well, which kept people employed, and it just did very, very well. Now, 2022, house prices continued to rise until around about September. That's when we started talking about inflation a hell of a lot more. It'd been going on for a while, but we started to talk about inflation just that little bit more. And we were doing a number of renovations at the time, and normal people were talking about inflation. It wasn't just economists and stuff like that. Every builder, all they did was come in and moan about the price of timber. It was a daily conversation, or the fact that they couldn't get products. Particularly plaster was very, very hard to come by for a lot of our jobs at the time. And so then inflation really, really hit us. And at the back end of 2022, we had around a 3% drop in house prices just for that final quarter. Now, going into 23, a lot of people thought that that would continue and the momentum on that house price drop would carry on. And that's what we all thought, because inflation was still very high. It was around 10%. The interest rates went up 14 times consecutively, which now puts the base rate at 5.25. We had a mini budget with Liz Truss that made interest rates from lenders. They were lending out at 6.5%, which was very expensive at the time. In fact, some lenders even pulled products from the market because they didn't know what was going to happen. It was absolute carnage. But 2023 has been a flat market. You've had some ups, you've had some downs, you've had some seasonally adjusted data, but house prices haven't gone up or down really more than 1% either way, depending on where you get your data from. So where are we ending up in 2024? Because that's what we want to talk about here. Well, I think that you're going to have some volatility at the beginning of the year. I'm certain you're going to have some months where you get more than a 1% drop, because this year we had some 0.1s and some 0.5s. I think you're going to get some 1% drops, because right now asking prices on places like Zoopla and Rightmove are down. And so if the asking price is down, the sold price inevitably is going to end up that little lower. But activity is also picking up. So I think during the first 6 months, this is what I feel. I feel the market will go down around 5% from where it is today in the first 6 months of the year. Now, what I then think is going to happen is interest rates are going to start dropping. Now, the Bank of England is telling us rates aren't coming down anytime soon. But I've said in multiple videos, they have to say that. They can't tell you that we're going to drop interest rates in May. Because if they tell you that, all transactions are off the table and only urgent deals are going to go through because everyone's going to wait for the interest rates to drop in May. So the Bank of England has to keep a zip on it. And they have to tell us because the interest rate that they've got today won't be impactful if we know something better is just around the corner. So I feel there's a lot of pent up demand in the market. I know people that would buy right now, but there's not enough stock on the market, so they don't have the options that they potentially want to buy. And they also want to feel that they're buying at the bottom of the market. So they've got a wait and see approach. They don't want to jump into the market and then it crashes 20%, 30%, 35%, as one YouTuber constantly talks about. They don't want to be that person that buys at the very, very peak of the market, which essentially we still are at. And so I feel that at the second half of the year, interest rates will drop. People that have sat on the sidelines will say, look, we want to buy a property now. And so you're going to have an influx of buyers. And so I feel by the end of 2024 that we'll have had some house price rises to counter this. And I feel that they'll have gone up around 4% and you'll be down around 1%. I think for 2024 as a whole, you'll be down 1%, but you'll have started lower. You're going to go down first, then I feel you're going to recover as new buys come in, as interest rates drop. That's what I feel is going to happen. I think inflation conversation will be gone by Easter. I think, yes, we might not be at the 2%, but we'll be 2 point something, that Joe Public isn't really that concerned. So the news will stop talking about it because it's not very exciting when inflation's at 2.4%. People don't really feel that impacts their life significantly. So that will become a distant memory. When we're stopping to talk about that kind of stuff and we see interest rates are going to go down, I think that is going to get some positivity and some forward movement in the market. So that's what I think. I think the market is looking potentially fairly good. I think you're not going to have a huge crash. But also, I want you to consider that we have had a crash in properties, and that has happened with inflation. And so with inflation, house prices did drop around 15%, which is technically a crash. So in real terms, in real cash terms, what you can get today is around 15% cheaper than when the market effectively peaked. Prices in nominal terms might not be down as much, but in real terms, what you get for your 100 grand is down around 15%. So that's interesting. And we call that a silent property crash. Could go down more. If inflation sticks high, that could happen. So let me know your thoughts on all of this. Do smash that like button, guys. That really helps us. Come and join us on this channel. Subscribe, hit the bell. Go and check out some more content on my channel. Maybe start with this video right here.